Even paradise has pests, and they can do serious damage to your home. That's where Pest Tech Hawaii comes in. Expert protection with the spirit of aloha. Ride with us as we handle real calls across Oahu, including a surprise you won't believe.
All right, let's see if there's anything interesting in here today. Sure enough.
We started the morning overlooking Oahu from the Ward District. Paradise from above. But down on the streets, pest control is a whole different story. That's where I met up with Connor from Pest Tech Hawaii to start the day.
Oh, so Connor.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So termites, what I've heard since I've been on the islands is they can decimate a place in a pretty quick amount of time or brief amount of time. What's been your experience?
Okay, so that is definitely true of ground termites. Drywood termites, it takes them a much longer time to cause problems. So for drywood termites, then from when you very first get the start of a colony, so you get your king and queen, from that time it takes 3 to 5 years before you'll even start seeing damage, because they got to build up their colony. They eat pretty slow. Now once they get going, you'll definitely see the damage, but it takes them much longer. The ground termites, they can eat 4 pounds of wood a day, so yeah, if you leave them very long, they will mess up your house.
Wow, 4 pounds of wood a day.
Yeah.
That could, yeah. So you could go be away for a few months and come back and your house
is eaten up.
Wow. What, as a general population, living on Oahu, what should people know about in terms of whether it's about termites or just general pest control?
Okay, well, specifically for the termites, is there actually are preventatives for them. If you're away for a month, then I would definitely recommend either doing Centricon stations or a ground treatment, which the Centricon stations, I don't know if you've ever seen the circular green things around a house.
Yeah.
Where there's bait/poison in those and kind of create a barrier that termites go eat that instead of the house.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Connor with Pest Tech Hawaii. Been working here about 2.5, 3 years now, and we're about to head to our first house. The bait. All right, let's see if there's anything interesting in here today. Sure enough, I knew it.
Wow.
Toads, snails. Yeah, move, buddy.
This is a big one.
Yep, sure is. Big fat one. Would you look at that? We got roaches and all kinds of stuff. And clearly rat activity because the bait was gone.
Yeah, the bait is completely gone. Boy, that was a big one.
Yep.
First I thought he was dead, but he...
Oh no. Alive and well.
We thought the first one was crazy, but what we found in the next bait box could actually be dangerous.
The way this particular bait works is the rat or mouse eats it, and it doesn't kill them instantly. It gets activated when they drink water, and
They get really thirsty.
yeah, they go get thirsty, they go drink. So the idea is that, because we don't check these, like this particular one, it's monthly. Yeah. And so you don't want a dead rat sitting in the box. You want them to go die elsewhere. Hello. Yeah. Oh, you are a cane toad, aren't you?
Now what is it about cane toads that...
They're poisonous. So,
oh boy, he just ran that way.
oh well, he's out of my box.
Now are they poisonous to the skin?
If you got it on you really bad, it's more to eat though, which is...
Oh, it's more if you eat them.
Yeah, that's when they're a huge problem, is animals will eat them and then get sick and or die depending on the size of the animal. But
Yeah, this is an exciting one.
I knew it was going to be. This house is always like this.
While Connor checked the bait boxes, I stepped out on the deck for a moment. In this area of the island, oceanfront homes can run anywhere from $3 million to $20 million.
This one wasn't as exciting, so you didn't miss as much.
Oh yeah,
This one's going to be an interesting one, I think. Let's see, what do we got? I'll pull it out here.
Oh, there's two types of toad there.
Yeah, come on. This would be a common toad. See these all over the place in both Hawaii and the mainland.
He knew how to get out.
Yeah, come on, buddy. All the way. There.
At this point, it was starting to feel like the toads were following us. After wrapping up the toad situation, we headed to our next stop, another residential property just a few miles away. Out here, every home has its own surprises, and this one was no different. What we found next wasn't exactly a pest, but it definitely made the job a little bit more interesting.
So this is general pest control. That's ants, roaches, centipedes, millipedes, that kind of thing. Can hear them.
What is that noise?
It's little chicks from the chickens that, yeah, see, here she is. Yeah, come on, move. There. Sprayer. Yeah, I know your chicks are close, but you need to move. There. Come out. Great spot to treat is the post because creatures will crawl up and get into the house that way. So. If it's an actual edible tree, you can't spray it because the roots will suck up the poison into it. But if it's not, then no harm.
Oh yeah, geckos.
Uh-huh. This spray actually won't hurt the geckos. I could spray them right on the head and they just look at me. Which is fine by me. Like I said earlier, I like reptiles.
After wrapping up our last call with Connor, I went to meet with Ian, the owner of Pest Tech Hawaii. He's built a team of over 60 professionals serving homes and businesses throughout Oahu. In less than a decade, they've become one of the fastest growing pest control companies on the island. And I wanted to know how. How did you get into the pest control industry?
You know, I feel like an old man sometimes, but back in the day, 20 some odd years ago, I sold cars. And there were no cell phones, so the way you kept busy was you read the newspaper. So you'd sit there while you waited for people to come in to buy a car and you'd read a newspaper. And I answered a help wanted ad to be a Centricon technician. And in those days, those guys got paid $9.50 an hour. And I thought I was going to be rich monitoring Centricon. And if you've been in the business long enough, in those days, Centricon stations were every 2 feet apart. And so it meant every 2 feet you had to bend over and open a station and pull out the wood and put in new wood. And so that was my job, and that was the entry into the pest control business for me.
Wow. And since then, you've not only entered the pest control industry, you've started your own.
Yep.
What was that like, that transition?
It was scary and liberating at the same time. I was the GM of another company for 10 or 15 years. And as a GM, you get a lot of influence and power and just enough money to do well, but not enough to get ahead. And so the leap is, do I leave comfortability for success, or am I content with where I am? And I chose the latter. I chose to leave. It was scary, right? For the first time, there was nobody to ask, am I doing this right? What should we do, right? I was a decision maker, which always seems like the coolest thing in the world, to be your own boss. But when the buck stops there and there's nobody else to blame but you, and everybody assumes that you have all the right answers, that's a lot of weight to bear. But as stressful as it was, I'm happy that we did it, and I've never looked back. I'm proud of what we've built so far.
What do you think is a common misconception about pest control that you feel people should know?
This is not the pest control of the cartoon era with Bugs Bunny and the little pump thing that you sprayed into the air and you just hosed everything down, right? Pest control yesteryear, you used an axe to kill everything. You just chopped up everything. Today's pest control is a little bit more surgical, right? When I'm killing roaches in your house, I'm not spraying the whole house because your whole house doesn't have roaches. I'm finding out exactly where they are, and I'm delivering whatever I have to deliver directly to where they are. And so that minimizes exposure to your family, that minimizes exposure to the community. And so everything that we do is with specific intent, which is a lot different. And even when I started in the industry, now there's just a lot more intent with how we treat our products and how we treat our customers.
Yeah, and speaking of that, you have grown quite a business over the past several years, starting back in 2016?
March 28, 2016. Yeah.
Yep, you guys have been able to scale to a pretty large pest control, company. What has that experience been like, or what would you say has allowed you to be able to pull something like that off?
Well, we were able to be really successful really quick, but it wasn't anything special that we were doing at that time. It was a lot of the groundwork that we built before that. And so I was the GM of another pest control company, the largest private pest control company in Hawaii, for 10, 15 years, right? And so I built a ton of relationships over that time. I put together resources of people that were willing to help. And so when I started my business, it wasn't like I started it on day one. I started it with 10 years of relationships that were willing to help. So much so to the point where as I needed equipment, the relationships that I built, the people I needed to buy it from, were giving it to me. They were saying, we trust in you, we believe in you, take it. Don't pay for it later when you're bigger. Pay for it when you can. And so I almost started my company without cash. Right? I needed just enough cash to float some payroll, but beyond that, everything I needed, I was able to have built on relationships for the 10 or 15 years before that. And so it's hard to replicate what I did, but I put a lot of work in before we started.
What would you say makes you and your company different from a lot of other companies out there?
We all kind of do similar things. The difference is that I really do care about my customers, and I really do care about the mission. And the mission is to protect the home, protect the family. And so that drives me crazy at night, understanding that that's my mission, which is then carried out by all of my employees. And so that's sort of the culture that we have. We'll figure it out. Right? Whatever your problem is, family, we'll figure it out. Right? That's the job, is to take care of those people. And so that's what makes us different. I wish I could say I had some magical chemical that we use or some special process, right? If you're good, you learn from the best. Your processes become similar as you learn from different people in the industry. And so we execute well on those things. We hire good people who also care. Right? The technician that you were at today, Connor, he cares, right? Like, he cares like it's almost his company, right? Like, he's like, no, we got to get rid of these bugs, man. But that's sort of the culture, is being able to find people who match your vision, and that's the vision, just to take care of our families, take care of our communities.
Speaking of community, how important is community to you?
being a fabric of the community?
Extremely important. It was when we started our company, we sat in a warehouse around a plastic table. There were 7 of us when we started. And we were just creating stuff out of scratch. Like, all right, what do we do next? Right? We have a name, we have a start date, what's next? One of the founding principles that we all had was that we would give back to the community, no matter what we did. One of my first TV interviews that I paid for, right? People think that I'm famous because I'm on TV a lot. I'm not. I pay for every single minute of that, right? One of the TV interviews that I did on one of our local news stations, I brought the Hawaii Food Bank on with me. Had nothing to do with bugs, right? I had realized that our local community was starving. Ironically, in Hawaii, there are a lot of people who go without meals, and I thought that's not right. At that time, I was about 100 pounds overweight. I'm like, all right, I'm eating good. Our friends and family got to eat good too. So we partnered with the food bank. We were able to bring them on our live TV news station broadcast that we did, and just spread the word about food insecurity is what they call it, and try and mash that up with pest control. And so the interviewers were like, how does that relate to anything? And we all live here, right? We all got to survive in the community. So the community means a lot to us.
Our time in Hawaii showed me what being a local service legend really means. Showing up with heart and leaving every place better than you found it. This is Local Service Legendz.